Welcome to Church Comp 101, brought to you by the Seminary of Hard Knocks podcast. I'm Seth Muse, and I'm your host. This is where church communications are fun, Instagram is life, and nobody feels like an idiot. To make it today as a communication director in a church, you have to have the right stuff. What's the right stuff? Well, it's the right attitudes, of course. There are 5 basic attitudes that will help any church communicator succeed. Like really like a lot. Attitude number 1. You must have patience, grasshopper. You have to have patience when someone tapes a handwritten sign to a window or a door. You have to have patience when someone trolls your Facebook page. You have to have patience when your life is a toilet. But making a difference doesn't happen overnight. You have to be patient and wait for leadership to trust you. The more you contribute, the more that they'll trust you. So be patient and do what you do well. And maybe keep one of those calming playlists on Spotify for when your rage goes out of control. Attitude number 2. You're going to need the ability to detach from your work. And I'm not talking about some existential meditation process or something like that. What I'm talking about is your ability to separate your personal worth from your work. If you can't handle criticism in your work, this might be a red flag for you. Of course, your work is always personal, but the criticism is not. You have to be able to see it that way. And keep in mind in the front of your mind that when someone's critical of your work, it's critical of your work and not of you. And so if you can separate those things, you'll have a lot more peaceful existence with your coworkers. Because honestly, if you give them the benefit of the doubt, they probably don't think you suck. They just might have some thoughts about your work, and that's okay. Just try to talk it out with your coworkers or your boss before you go nuclear. Nuclear? Nuclear. The S is silent. Attitude number 3. The third attitude is an attitude of kindness. Now, this is not some way that you're wired. It's just something you do. Some people say, I don't like to sugarcoat things, or my calling here is to call people out on their stuff. Well, no. It's not like God said, I'm going to create this person a little different. You know, their purpose on the planet, I think they need to be the one that rubs everybody the wrong way. And thou shalt be turds to one another, for this is holy. Yeah, that's not in the Bible. What is in the Bible is Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, just as Christ forgave you. So kindness is commanded, and it's a skill that you can learn. In fact, when Jesus was being crucified, while he was being crucified is when he forgave us. Is when he said, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. He forgave the people that were actually killing him in the moment, not after. If he can do that, we can be kind to one another. Attitude number 4. An attitude of friendliness is different from kindness because it requires you to be present in the moment, not just nice. Do you walk up and down the halls and say hi to people? Do you pop into people's office and ask, how are your kids? Do you bring them back their favorite Sonic drink when you go on a happy hour run for Sonic? These things build what is called relational equity, and it's super important to getting things done in your organization or church. And plus, it's good for your coworkers to get to know you too, because once they get to know you, they realize there are things that you don't like or that set you off or that really stop you from doing your job well. And they may stop and think, oh, before I write this handwritten note and tape it to the window for tonight, I should probably check and see if Seth is cool with that, because that sounds like something he wouldn't like. He wouldn't. But now that they know me, now that they know you, they have a context for some of the things that really make our job easier or harder. Attitude number 5. You've got to love the process. That's not really an attitude, but it's a position. You got to love the process of communications. Do you have kids? I do. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to tell them to put the dishes in the dishwasher and not in the sink. In fact, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to be told to put the dishes in the dishwasher and not in the sink. But part of parenting is learning to love the process, and communications is the same way. As you continue to grow your communication strategy and you teach and coach other people, learning to love the process and not really getting stuck on the results is where you're really going to find some peace, harmony, love, and happiness in what we do. You've got to learn to love cheering on your staff. You've got to learn to love watching them win on social media. You've got to learn to love wanting to make emails better at your church. And then, I promise, you'll be a much more happy camper. Of course, if you're like me, you don't like camping, and so you're never a happy camper. Mosquitoes. If you fall in love with stats and the bottom line, you're always going to feel behind on something. But if you learn to love the fact that you're growing and expanding, then you're always going to feel like you're doing something great, and it's going to make you want to do more and do better, and it's going to cause people around you to want to rally to that cause as well. So let's review. The 5 attitudes of a successful church communicator are patience, detachment, kindness, friendliness, and a love of the process. What other attitudes do you think you need? Did I miss something? Put it in the comments below and we'll continue the discussion there. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, give me a like, and I would love for you to subscribe to the Seminary of Hard Knocks podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See ya!